NCAA champion, softball coach Lonnie Alameda. And waiting with bated breath to begin his career as the head coach of the Florida State football team, Willie Taggart. They are here tonight at the Champions Club. Coaches, come forward, please. Wow, hey, 1-0 over Washington game one, then 8-3 to win it all in Oklahoma City, huh? It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Hey, Lonnie, I'm going to ask you a question or two, and then I'm going to get to Coach Taggart, but what was it like in Oklahoma City, the mecca of women's softball? What was it like to be there and win a championship?
It was incredible, right? I mean, you guys were all there with us, right? So it was incredible. The spirit to be a Seminole, you guys felt it through the televisions, the social media feeds, and I so thank you guys for being there and supporting us. It was something I'll never forget in my lifetime, but the most important part, those kids will never forget that experience, so thank you for being part of it. So, incredible.
Boy, how about that? Lonnie, congratulations. You brought the trophy home to Tallahassee, Florida. Earlier today, Lonnie, you had a part to play at the kickoff to celebrate 50 years of women's athletics at FSU. 50 years. Could you share how you feel about FSU's commitment, the boosters' commitment, the athletic department's commitment, this university's commitment to women's athletics?
Yeah, what an incredible event. Some of you guys were there this afternoon, and it was that family feel again, and that's the underlying theme for everything that we do as a coaching staff with our program and recruiting is it's a family. So there were so many former players, alumni, staff members that were there that were celebrating 50 years for the appreciation of our foundation of Florida State, but also for the vision for the future. And they're so excited about the future, and there's so many that are supporting us individually as coaches and programs. And I just can't tell you how awesome that feeling is. I've been at a lot of schools, and when you come down to the bare nuts and bolts of Florida State, it's a family, we take care of each other, and you could feel that there, and I'm so proud that I get that to represent that.
Lonnie, the Unconquered Campaign, oh, go ahead. Exactly. The commitment of Florida State University, 50 years and counting in support of women's athletics programs. The Unconquered Campaign, we just saw the video and had a chance to see what's going on in the future, and I like that, the giant step forward with the Unconquered Campaign. Now, women's athletics is going to move into the Moore Athletic Center eventually, and you're going to have better dining facilities, better weight room, better training facilities, access to the very best. How do you see this positively acting on behalf of your team and the other athletes in women's athletics at Florida State?
Yeah, so just to share with you all, you know, the weight room can be kind of like the club down there sometimes because it gets crowded. It does. You know, the kids are going to class from 8 till probably 2, so your chances to lift are from 6 to 8. And you know, some of you guys athletes know you're down there with swimmers and you're down with the baseball players and track and softball, and you're all trying to get your lift on. You know, and so this gives us the opportunity to allow the amazing football players and how strong they are throwing weight around, and then some of the smaller kids, you know, although we're not so small by heart, but you know, maybe small by body size, but you know, and to get in there and lift too. So I think it frees up. We have an amazing strength and conditioning staff, and it allows them the ability to actually give time and spend time with kids and move kids around. And so, you know, when you think about room, just giving us room to move and grow, it's an incredible opportunity with that. And you know, not only in the weight room, yeah, my gosh, if you guys think the team behind the team, there's so many people that help. So from our academics to our facilities people to student services, just so many opportunities to build and grow. I mean, I think we're busting at the seams over there because teams, you know, we're not 15 anymore, we're 26 on our roster now. So when you think about that, like the growth of athletes at every school has gotten bigger, and coaching staffs get bigger, and you know, you get an assistant in the weight room, you know, so your travel squad's now 40, you know, and before it was like 21, and so where do you put all those people, and you know, where do you do their laundry and all that kind of stuff? So you know, we're just giving the opportunity for everyone that's a part of sport to be able to grow and you know, have space to move around. So it's an incredible opportunity for us.
Seminoles, I think we're hearing another national championship for Florida State softball. Another Lonnie Alameda. Lonnie, Congratulations on the tremendous success of our softball team this year, and under your coaching, it was phenomenal. I think everybody here tonight watched you do your thing and watched the Seminoles bring that trophy home. If you were to visit with a donor, a potential donor for Florida State University in this campaign, what would you say to a potential donor? How could they help you the best?
Yeah, so I can teach you how to throw a drop on a curveball, and I can, drop stuff and that kind of stuff. But I don't think a lot of times you get the chance as donors to actually be with the kids. That's what we're all here for. We're all here for the student athlete. We're all here to watch them grow when they come in as bright-eyed freshmen, to shaking hands and taking on the world when they leave and graduate from this place. And everybody has a part of that. And so, the great thing about maybe our sport is you get to be around us and get to meet us and see us a little bit more. And that's a big part of it. You get to see them grow, where maybe sometimes in football or basketball, you can't be right down there with them. But every 18, 19-year-old coming in here is going through the same experience. And so with our ability as coaches to grow young women and young men and let them take on the world because of what we have at Florida State comes from the funding and comes from the opportunities. And so, if I could take every single one of you guys and you come hang out with us at practice and do some things with us, I think that would be the most amazing thing, because that's the inspiration of why you're here for athletics, is you want to see them grow and take on the world. So everyone saw, there's the catch that won a national championship here, and then there's the catch that also won a national championship here, right? So Jessie Warren, and Jessie Warren would never be able to come to school. She just didn't have the funds to do it. So the scholarship money allows her to come, and she has grown to be an amazing young lady because of every single person that's been a part of her career here in the 4 years. And, a funny story, my first time she went, we didn't do so well, and she got interviewed, and she was on the mic, and she was like doing this, like very immature, like, we lost, and I'm like a mom, like, get your head up, To, if anyone saw her interview at the end of the World Series, she was incredible. And, that was everyone's part of growing up a young lady that's ready to jump into the real world. So your funding helps young women and young men be able to take it on. And yes, we all want to see them Major League Baseball, NFL, Major League Softball. We want to see that. But really, we want to see them contributors to society, and we want to see them proud of being a Florida State athlete.
That is why Lonnie Alameda is the head coach of the national champion Florida State Seminoles. Thank you very much, Lonnie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you have done and what you will do. Tomorrow night around 8 o'clock, Florida State plays Virginia Tech. We know that. It's Labor Day Monday night, and national audience we're watching. And guess who happens to be sitting right next to Lonnie Alameda, who just won a national championship? Head coach Willie Taggart. Welcome to the Unconquered Campaign. All right, Coach. By golly, I'll tell you what, you got to follow Lonnie Alameda. That's a tough, tall order. But if anybody can do it, I think you can, Coach. And I know you've got a schedule tonight, team meetings, more video, and let's beat the Hokies tomorrow night. First up, we saw in the very first part of the video a very expensive campaign to raise money, and we're going to build a football operations center for your football team. How important is that to you and this Florida State Seminole football team?
Well, first I'd like to say thank every single one of you, because without you, I wouldn't be here, Coach wouldn't be here, and Florida State wouldn't be what Florida State is because of you all. And I really do appreciate that. And I'm not the only one, I'm sure there's plenty other, but I think what we want to do is create an environment to where our team can have success and their families can continue to be proud that they're part of something great. I think about those before me that laid the foundation, and with the Unconquered Campaign, it helps continue our great legacy we have here at the university. I'm here to do something. We need donors here to do something. We need student athletes here to do something with us to get there. And you've heard my story and how much I care about Florida State University. And Tanisha and I, we would like to invest in a student athlete and continue our rich tradition here at Florida State University. And we ourselves would like to pledge $1 million to the campaign. I know I'm always telling our players, don't talk about it, be about it. And I can't sit here and ask you all to do something and not do something ourselves. And again, it's all about the student athlete, and we want to be great here, and we want our players to have everything they need in order to be great and live up to the expectations we all have for them. And so, again, I can't sit around and talk about doing something if I'm not doing something. So, Tanisha and I would like to do something. We need more.
Answer the question. I was going to ask you the same question I asked Lonnie. If you were to talk to a potential donor to support this Unconquered campaign, I think you just did what I was going to ask you to do. I think you just did something.
There you go.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions, Coach. Go out and beat the Hokies tomorrow night. Okay, Willie Taggart, head coach of Florida State University.
Thank you all. Go.
That's almost as good as beating Virginia Tech tomorrow night, Coach. $1 million! Wow. Lonnie tells it like it is. Willie tells it like it is, and I can't wait till toe hits leather tomorrow night when Virginia Tech is right out here. This is hallowed ground out here, folks. Hallowed ground, and you all have made it possible. Since 1974, when I first met this young fella, he's not my age, he's a little younger. We met over the old Hecht House. His name was Andy Miller, and he had this dream of building a booster organization that would be second to none. A lot of people looked at Andy and thought he was crazy. But I'm here to tell you, in the year 2018, the #1 Seminole of the #1 athletic fundraising organization in the world is my friend. He epitomizes what being a Florida State Seminole is all about. He is the president and chief executive officer of Seminole Boosters Incorporated. Let's hear from the one and only Andy Miller.
Hey, I gotta say, I did get the agenda kind of confused earlier because we had planned to have our speeches out of the way for Willie and Lonnie, but I gotta tell you, you have to draw tremendous inspiration from those two. I mean, this is just like the best it can be right here. I think anybody that saw Lonnie and her teams playing in the World Series were inspired by the play and the young ladies and the way they approach competition. And Willie has been a tremendous guy to work with ever since he's been here. There's nothing we've asked him that he hadn't done. He's an ultimate team player. I think he's much like Coach Bowden. He wants what's best for Florida State. And he really wants to be at FSU, and you can see that. Nobody invests $1 million without that. I want to thank all of you guys. I learned a long time ago that you can't sell an empty seat. I had a wise man tell me that, and you guys have really turned out. Also, so many of you guys, probably look around and say, hey, I've given FSU a lot of money over my lifetime, and many of you have just recently made large contributions for other projects, and we're here to tell you thank you, and we appreciate so much of what you're doing. We have a new challenge now, which is very formidable. But I will tell you, we've got 25% of the money already raised, so that's good. That should build confidence that we can do the job, and I have ultimate faith that we can do the job. We've had a great process here. Chairman Burr has done a tremendous job, Doug Russell, and I'm very happy that Nyla Thompson and John Crow have accepted our request to co-chair the campaign. I don't think we'd ever have a campaign without DeVoe and Shirley Moore. And where are you guys? I know you're somewhere here. At least she was here earlier. So. I want to thank you and Shirley because y'all always, you're there for us. But without further ado, this is tough, you know. Like I said, we reordered the business. We're going to have ours out of the way before Willie's. So, but without further ado, I'd like to ask Ed Burr to come forward and tell us about the process. Thank you again, Ed, for everything you've done.
Thank you, Andy. And it's hard to follow both of those coaches. I'm not sure why. We could just adjourn, I think, it'd be fine. But I don't know if anyone follows Willie on Twitter, but if you did, that would just be a ring ring. Every time he gets a recruit, it says ring ring. $1 million donation, that's a ring ring. So that's pretty good. I get the privilege to serve as the chairman of the board of trustees of this university. And I've been on the board now for almost 8 years. And I can't tell you what an honor it is to be able to serve. Not only as the great progress we're making, but with a great group of people who serve and dedicate untold hours, and many of them their treasure to this university. I want to just take a minute of privilege and introduce all of our board of trustees. If you're here tonight, I'm going to ask you to stand and just stay standing so we can applaud each of you at the end, if you would. We have Todd Adams, I know he's here tonight, Max Alvarez, Catherine Ballard serves on the board, Billy Bazette, June Duda, George Gonzalez, I know I've seen him tonight, Jim Henderson. Let me take a minute for Jim. He's suffering with some health issues and some family issues, so hold Jim close to your hearts in prayer if you would. We have Mark Hillis, our vice chairman, who's here tonight. Craig Mateer, I know Craig Mateer is here. Stacy Pierre, our student representative, is here tonight. Stacy, I'm sorry you didn't get the garnet blazer. We have to work on that. Bob Sasser, I know, is here, and Brett Simmel. If you could just take a moment and applaud each of you. I really am so proud of our university. I started thinking about, as we launch this campaign, this campaign will be transformational. It's hard to believe, as much as this university has been through, as much success as we've had, we could be sitting here and talking about transformational universities. But I want to just give you a little snapshot of the last few years. And 4 years ago, we hired a new president, we hired a new provost, we hired John Thrasher and Sally McCrory. Our university has gone from being ranked 46th in the country to 33rd in the country, on its way to being a top 25 university. And I promise you, before this president leaves, and hopefully before I leave this board, we'll be a top 25 university in this country. That's our goal. And by the way, every other university is trying to improve as well. They're not all sitting still. We're jumping them in leaps and bounds. Over 51,000 kids applied for 6,200 slots here at Florida State University. And some of you might have been able to get in. It certainly wouldn't have included me in that process. And we're #1 in the state for four-year graduation rate. These are unbelievable. 9 months ago, we lost a head coach. Many of us were devastated by that. 4 days later, President Thrasher announced the hiring of Willie Taggart. And frankly, he has led us in such a way, inspired us in such a way, embraced our culture in such a way. I really can't remember the guy's name. And this summer, starting in June, I saw a process unfold, and I got a chance to be part of working with the boosters, leadership. Andy was there, Doug was there, under the leadership of the great boosters. The athletic department was there, Stan was there represented, had his folks there as well. Jim Curry was there with him. Administration sat around the table, John Thrasher, David Coburn, who had his chief of staff hat on, Kyle Clark. We had the populist folks who were sat around the table, and Childers Construction who sat there. And this issue of a football facility had been discussed as you all know, for a long time at this university. There are a lot of opinions of what should be done. A lot of people entrenched in their opinions of what should be done, including myself. We all sat around, threw our ideas out, and vetted a lot of alternatives in the football facility. Improve more, renovate Telly, expand more, include Olympic sports, build a new football facility. Evaluate a lot of options. Populace went back, they were challenged to come up with better and better programs, and they continued to challenge themselves and responded. Everybody collaborated in a way that I don't think they've ever, in my tenure, have worked together to come up with a plan like this plan. And I think our goal was, before we kicked the football off on Labor Day night, that Gary Thurston was there the first meeting, and we pledged to do this, that before we kicked the football off on Labor Day night, we would have a plan for a football operations facility that not only met the needs and some of the wants of the football team, but also honored and served all of our athletic programs, our Olympic athletes and others, and helped the university as a total. And that's what this new facility does, is football ops. You know, by building a new football facility, what happens back in Moore with a little bit of renovation, all the other sports, Olympic sports, and the ladies athletes get an unbelievable, unparalleled facility for their exclusive use without football interfering. And then the university, and the president of Moore, gets tens of thousands of square feet, 50 or 60,000 square feet of space the university sorely needs that they can use in the Moore facility. So it really was a win across the board for all facets. A couple of points. You know, if we'd have renovated Moore, it'd have been in some rehab for 30 or 36 months, 3 years or so. And it was unbelievable because I talked to the coach about that. He said, look, I'm all in. The coach, I don't care whether you rehab a facility, I don't care if you build me a new facility, whether it takes you 30 months, my guys will be fine. I don't mind being in a temporary facility as long as it's enough. Our guys will be just fine. I just want a facility that's big enough and efficient enough that I can serve our team, and that's what he's going to get in this process. And one thing I think is pretty cool, he said, I still want our guys to eat together. So we're expanding the dining hall so all the athletes still spend time eating together, whether it's football or the other athletes, which I think is a pretty special time. So I think what you saw, a little snippet of what you saw, is the culmination of really a unique process of groups coming together that hadn't done before and ending up with a great program that I think has universal support among our administration, our boosters, our athletic department, and I think excites every one of us, and certainly excites me. Someone asked me, the Unconquered Campaign, I said, you know, I really like do something, but I can, you know, Unconquered's pretty cool. But what is it going to do to the university? I said, it really shows that at Florida State University, we've had great success. We've had great success here at Florida State University, athletically, academically, but you know, we're not resting on our laurels. It's a new era, and this is the start of the next day and the future greatness, and really taking to a new heights of what Florida State University is going to be in the next generation. So thank you all for your time. I know, I don't know if I'm introducing someone or Andy or I'm bringing you back. Thank you all very much.
We have a lot of heroes in this program. Certainly all of you guys that give your time and your treasure to help support the things that Florida State really needs. But there's a man here that I've known for a long time. People, I think recently in the newspaper it talked about that he and I first met over at the 80 Pie House. He was at Florida State University, and he met his bride-to-be. I didn't have such luck at that time, but I finally found my bride-to-be, and I've been married with her for the last 45 years. But anyway, I'm a great admirer of his. He's certainly a hero of Florida State University. He served in so many capacities that in roles that have helped this university progress in ways that you'll just never know. Some of these things we can't even talk about. But David Coburn, I'm so happy to have you as our AD. I'm happy to have you as our leader of our athletic program. Come forward and speak with the crowd.
Thank you. Yeah, I did marry my dad. You know, the more I think about it, the more of those nights sitting on the porch with him kind of trained me for what I've been doing the last few years, because while we were sitting out there Andy was mostly talking and I was mostly listening. And you guys know how that goes. I think if each of you think back to what this place was like when you arrived, and then think about what it's like now, the difference is pretty stunning. When I arrived in 1969, Dave Callens was still playing in Tully Gym. Bill Peterson was coaching in the Erector set, and the Gators owned the state. It's a little different now. And it's different because of you guys. And of course, a guy named Bow. But thank you all for everything that you've done. We've come a long way, but ladies and gentlemen, there's still a ways to go. And what we're going to do here tonight is take the first step down the road to sustain greatness. I think that we have the pieces in place. We have the leadership with the president, the chairman of the board, the other trustees who are committed. We have great coaches, and we have good facilities. And what we have to do now is raise the money to elevate those facilities to the level that we need to sustain our momentum. And there's no question in my mind that we can do it. We're already off to a great start. I think even Andy's surprised at the great start we're off to. It's been fabulous. But we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together, because he and I are kind of joined at the hip, as you can tell. I don't think anybody's done more for this university and this athletic program than that Red. So with that, I have the pleasure of introducing the boss, the president of the university, without whom we would not be here tonight. Mr. President.
You know, I asked David a couple of Sundays ago to do this job, and I didn't know what his reaction would be, but I kind of felt like it would be a positive reaction because I know, like all of you all here, and this is really, I've got notes, but everybody's been talked about and all that. I've been married to my wife for 54 years. So get that out of the way. And I love Monty Alameda, and I love Coach Taggart. I really love Coach Taggart, too. We're all hoping we love him still tomorrow night. If not, it'll be David and Burr. The president never makes a mistake, right? But seriously, I knew David would do the job because, like all of you, everyone sitting here tonight, you love and you have a passion for this university. This university opened doors for me and my family that I would never, ever imagine. Same with David and Mary. Same with all of you all who are here. I know for Andy, it feels the same way, for Chairman Burr, for all of our trustees who went to Florida State University, and for each and every one of you who've committed your treasure to this great place over the years, and your passion, you care about it. Yeah, this is a fundraising deal, no question about it. It's a fundraising deal, and we all know that that's about money. It's about money at the end of the day. But it's also about sustaining this wonderful, wonderful place that each and every one of us have benefited from for future generations, student athletes, and really for the university as a whole, because it's about student athletes. I get that. It's about facilities for student athletes and what nice facilities they're going to be. But it's also about the passion for this university for sustaining the excellence that we have built over the years and are continuing to build for Florida State University. I want to thank Chairman Burr. He really was the catalyst behind getting this group together and making sure that we were on the same page. And we're on the same page. Our athletic department, our boosters, I can assure you, and our administration are all pulling the wagon together. And with your help, we're going to continue to pull that wagon together. And I thank all the trustees that are here. I thank Coach Bowden. David was right. He was the one who got this university and the athletic program on the map. And now we have another great opportunity right now to continue this Bowden legacy under Willie Taggart and under our other great coaches. I couldn't have been prouder of Lonnie and her team. I love our softball team. I hope you all do too. Yeah, I get to go out and practice with them. Don't try to hurt them or anything like that. But they let me come out and practice, and I love softball. But this is an opportunity, and I hope that you all will understand that, yeah, we're here to solicit your treasure again. We are, no question about it. There's 100. If you added all those numbers up, it came out to $100 million, right? That's getting off cheap compared to Alabama. I might say that. But we, with Chairman Burr's leadership, we looked at every single issue, every single sport, to make sure that we were doing it in the proper way, in the correct way, and that we're giving those athletes what we think they needed over the next number of years. And I think this campaign, when it's all said and done, will give us an opportunity to take the next step in a level that we haven't been before, that we will be now able to achieve with these resources. You know, the world of intercollegiate athletics is especially in the Southeast, is extraordinarily competitive. You've seen what Alabama's done, Clemson's done, Florida does. You know, we know that we need to stay competitive. Not better necessarily, not more, but competitive, so that our student athletes can have the same opportunities that the ones in the past have had, and certainly, hopefully, the ones in the future have had. You know, I feel very passionate about this campaign. We are just finishing, and I'm sure many of you know that, the Raise the Torch campaign, which we raised over $1 billion, thanks to donors like you, and all over the state, and all over the country for that matter. And we're going to celebrate that sometime here a little bit later in September. But this is a new step. This is a step for athletics, and it's a step that I frankly think is necessary and needed for us to get to the next level and assure that our student athletes, as I said, have that same opportunity. I'm all in. I feel like it's the right thing to do with David's leadership and Andy's leadership, and I applaud Andy too for the great leadership he's given over so many years. When we started doing some things back in the legislature a long time ago, we had never could envision it where we'd all be three together. David worked for me when I was speaker in the appropriations. Andy had his list, as always, to come and tell me what we needed. And we accomplished a lot of that. But we can only, the Florida legislature can't do as much anymore for us in that area of athletics. We gotta go out and do it ourselves. And with your leadership and everybody in here's commitment, I am absolutely confident we're gonna get it. And I will tell you this, you all have stepped up to the table and to the plate so many times. And we're asking you again. But I promise you, Stacy Pierre and all the other students who are here, student athletes are here, will be the beneficiaries of your great wisdom and your love for this university and your passion for this university. And I hope you'll help us as we move forward. God bless you. Thank you very much.
You follow that, folks, huh? I am glad, and I know you are too, that John Thrasher is the president of Florida State University. Well, tonight, fellow Seminoles, Lonnie Alameda brought that national championship softball trophy right back here to our stage. Willie Taggart committed $1 million to the campaign, the Unconquered Campaign. And your Florida State soccer team knocked off second-ranked UCLA 4-1. It's been a great night to be a Seminole. Can I say goal? That's tougher to say than touchdown Florida State, I promise you. Tell Coach Kukurian I'm available every other Friday night or something. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been a great evening. I'd like to thank Chairman Burr, President Thrasher, Director Coburn, Coach Alameda, Coach Taggart for joining us this evening, and all of you to officially launch the Unconquered Campaign. And I'd like to invite all of you together, all of us here tonight. When we leave here, let's go down the elevators to the Unconquered statue as our campaign co-chair John Crow and Nyla Thompson will be there. We're going to get a great photo, and we're going to get this campaign kicked off there. Right, John, are you going to light that torch? I think you are. Huh? All right. Betty's going to light the torch. Okay. Don't mess this up now, Betty. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for being here. See you tomorrow night when we beat Virginia Tech. Go Noles!